Okay, what's up, everybody? Let's talk Dodger baseball. We just had the last game of the series against the San Francisco Giants. They thought they were going to pounce and give us some more losing streak. Guess what? We won that series. We won it. 2-1. We go into the World Series with the 2-game winning streak. Now, okay, let me give you some information here. Now you think, 7 games lost. We're not going to talk about that. In the last 20 games, the Dodgers were 11-9 in the last 20 games, despite losing 7 games in a row. The Los Angeles Dodgers at the All-Star break are still the number 1 team in the National League. They are still the highest scoring offense in all of the majors, right? They are still first place in their division. They still have the most dynamic and entertaining player in the major leagues who has 32 home runs, National League leading, and also can throw strikeouts. Is a pitcher too. They have them. We have Ohtani, and the Dodgers are still the team that are getting healthy, hopefully at the right moment. This little splice, this little piece of time before the All-Star game was when they're going to rest up and they're going to slow things down. They're not going to be so intense. And this is what you saw. That's why we lost a bunch of games. I'm not making an excuse for that, but there's a window opportunity you have to take advantage of, because now the Dodgers are in the home stretch. Now, I'm going to put this fact out, and this is an interesting fact, and I have not yet seen anybody talk about this. And I looked this up, and you can look it up too. In the history of the Los Angeles Dodgers, they have never won a World Series and win 100 games in the regular season. The 100-win curse is a thing. It is a legit thing. So, that being said, are the Dodgers going to need to not win 100 games to make it to the World Series? No. Because, and I hate to say this, and this hurts me to my Dodger soul, the Giants and the Padres are going to push the Dodgers to keep on winning. And if the Dodgers are going to get to the World Series this year, they're going to have to win 100 games, because the Padres aren't a bad team. The Giants aren't a bad team. They have a good team. So they're going to keep chasing the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are going to have to put their foot back on the gas, take it off of cruise control, and put the foot on their gas, because this little sliver of time before the All-Star game was when they were going to be able to recover it. Now, the good news for the Dodgers is that we have pitchers that are coming back and getting healthy, right? You have Gosselin, you still have Blake Snell, you have Saki, that those people are going to come back towards July and August, right? So they're getting healthy. The good news is Dustin May looks like he's holding up. Yamamoto is being pretty consistent, right? He's a good pitcher. Kershaw is looking good. We cannot stress out Kershaw. What I think is going to happen, and mark my words, and you could take this to the bank, is all our pitchers are going to come back. We're still going to use a 5-man rotation, and one of the rotations is going to be Ohtani pitches 4 innings, and Kershaw closes it out with 5 innings. That does good for everybody. It doesn't wear out Ohtani, because we need to keep him for the whole season. We need him to get to 50 home runs again, which it looks like he will, which will be the fastest Dodger player to 100 home runs, because he's going to do it in less than 2 years. And it takes the pressure off of Kershaw to really outperform everything. It's going to let him settle in his old man Rivers role for the Dodgers. Now, another observation for the Dodgers is it looks like Kershaw is mentoring Ohtani in pitching. You almost see a little bit of Ohtani's ability mirroring Kershaw. Now, Kershaw doesn't have the fastball. Like, Ohtani's a 100-mile-an-hour pitcher, which I didn't know, and I was wrong to assume that that's what was the case. But that being said, that's impressive, and Ohtani looks like his pitch selection, it almost reminds me of Kershaw from back in the day. I could be wrong about that, but I like where it's going. You see Kershaw sticking around, 18 years, 3,000 strikeouts, that whole instant Hall of Famer, first ballot, all that good stuff. He needs a statue. Anyways, which I think they're doing. So, that being said, We have some lineup issues that he needs to address, and I can see Dave Roberts goofing around with them. Like, for example, he had Will Smith. What is it? It was Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, then Will Smith, or was it Will Smith, then Freeman? So it stretched out the lineup a little bit. I think part of this is because of the fact that Ohtani's RBI count is kind of uncharacteristically low because of the fact that he has 32 homers. He should have more RBIs. But it's because of the fact that when he cycles through batters 6, 7, 8, batters 6, 7, 8, 9, they're not getting on base enough. So that way when he hits a home run, he's by himself, so that needs to change. I still think that when Ohtani pitches, he should bat 5th or 6th. I still think that's a good thing, and I hope that they kind of goof around with that, or they mess around with the lineup. I like how Dave Roberts is experimenting with lineup changes so we can get more consistency in the bottom half of our batting order. But the challenges for the Dodgers is consistency, and the people that are getting healthy, getting in the rhythm of what's going on with the Dodgers. Like, not kind of stalling things out, but just being able to fit in and grow with what's going on. Anyways, the Dodgers are still number 1 despite losing 7 games in a row. I thought somebody in the National League would pass them because everybody's on their heels. Nobody else responded. So the Dodgers are still in first place. What do you think is going to happen the second half of the season? I see a 30 to 40 game stretch where they really put on the gas and they win 26 or 27 games. They probably go 30-10 in a 40 game stretch. When does that happen? I don't know, but they're going to surge, because when you get the pitchers, because there was a stat the other day, and I'll end it with this. We've gone on for 7 minutes already, but other stuff are relevant topics. The announcers at the Dodger game were talking about how the Dodgers have 14 pitchers that have started 2 games for them this season. And you contrast it to the Giants, where it was like 8 pitchers or something like that. It was like way different, like 7 or 6 or whatever. It was like a crazy number. But that's where the Dodgers are going to excel when they get healthy. That'll bring down the run totals that the opponents, because we score a lot of runs. We have the most runs scored in the major leagues, but we also allow a lot. But that has to do with the pitching health of the pitchers. So anyways, what do you think? I want to hear from you. I said a lot of stuff here, but I wanted to sum it all up. We even went horizontal mode just to kind of give it that extra. Yeah. Tell me what you think. I want to hear from you. And are we going to see Ohtani pitching the first 4 innings and then Kershaw coming in for the last 5 to close out that game? And that'll count as 1 rotation spot. What do you think? Bye.